My name is Autumn Lancaster, and this is my rehearsal video for my FasTrak presentation. So I mainly focused my internship on learning more about the computer science industry, and I did spend time focusing specifically on one position, but interviewed several mentors. Three of my mentors include some family friends, including Sean Munoz, Brian Meyer, and Mark Gresham. All three of these people have 30 plus years of experience with coding and or being within the computer science field. As you can see here, Sean Munoz works at Tanium, which is a security software company, and has been there for 6 years with 3 different positions. Brian Meyer has been at a consulting company, Capgemini, for 9 years, and also has an MBA from the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. Mark Gresham is a senior engineer manager at Rally Health over the last 4 years with 3 different positions. My main mentor was Jenny Wulas. She is a web developer at Amita Health and has been there for 8 years with 2 different positions. Her story is interesting in the fact that she didn't start in computer science or coding at all. She actually started in art design and progressed from there in finding her love of coding rather than design. Next, I would move into why I chose to do more research and understanding of computer science. I chose computer science because in 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, I did biology and had an extreme interest in the coding of genes and how DNA was structured and worked and all the rules of that. And in 7th grade, I had also taken a course that was the JavaScript Khan Academy course that I also thought was interesting. Because of this, I chose to enroll in AP Computer Science this year, and I absolutely love it, which again is another reason why I chose to pursue computer science for my internship. Things I learned over this internship is that a lot of the times where I start is not where I'm going to end up. 3 out of the 4 mentors I interviewed did not end up where they started. 2 of them started as just straight programmers, and both of them went into different directions. Sean Munoz went more into the sales because he liked the people aspect, whereas Mark Gresham went more into the managerial and engineer section because he got bored of coding. Whereas Jenny Wulas decided that art design wasn't at all what she wanted to do and instead enjoys developing web pages and using code. So I definitely learned that where I start now is not at all where I'm going to end up as my interests change. I also learned how to take design into consideration, either when developing my current website and/or my product that I made with Jenny Wulas. And here I will go into what the full website that we built is, as well as what it looks like on my website and how the design by itself stands alone, as well as how the design itself works within my website and how I took that into account when designing it. And finally, the main thing I learned was debugging, which is really just problem solving. When constructing code, you always run into errors or mistakes, or something isn't working, you're not quite sure why, and you have to go through a series of different steps and reasonings to figure out what is actually causing the error. And that is a huge part of programming. At this point in my presentation, I would actually pull up the code that I use to build the product and walk through the process of debugging and show what was one error that we did run into while programming and how we were able to figure it out. And mainly here I can show the code and show the product as how it was being constructed and the process that I learned. At this point in my presentation, I will then evaluate if this is a career choice that I want to continue to learn about and pursue in my education. I will go through a simple pro-con list and kind of explain why certain things are pros and certain things are cons. For example, it is a con that it is the STEM field with the greatest gender gap, because that means that I'm most likely going to be discriminated against even more, because there's a lot more men than women in than any other STEM field. However, I also see this as a pro, because I tend to be the kind of person that does better under pressure and with a challenge, and I kind of like being able to show, like, almost show off in a sense of being like, no, just because I'm a woman doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm still going to work hard regardless of what you think I can or cannot accomplish because of my gender. Um, and once I've discussed these pros and cons, I will move into my final decision, which is yes, I would still love to pursue research and a career in computer science. Thank you very much for your time, and I'm looking forward to my final presentation.